Hello again. So I think we need to continue talking about T1 because there is so much to talk about. But before we get into T1, I just want to quickly mention something. Thank you for all the support on the last video. It went way harder than I expected to, and the comments were so much more civil than I was expecting as well. Because normally when you talk about T1, there tends to be a little bit of controversy. We had a little understanding in the comments, and you sorted it out peacefully as well, which is lovely. Those involved know what I'm talking about. And also, just genuinely thank you for all the support on the channel in general. I did have a video on this already, but it wasn't very good, and so I've scrapped it for this one. This one is going to be a little bit rushed because I have got an exam later today and I still need to do a lot of revision, but I just wanted to bring you a bit better quality and give you something a little bit more. Playing in the background is B Challenger's 2022 T1 montage. So if you like what you're seeing in the background, please feel free to check them out, or please do check them out rather. So yeah, let's talk about T1. The reason I'm using this in the background is because it could be a fated thing, because they did look decent at this tournament. I wouldn't say they look the best team in the world still. I mean, that was, again, my biased opinion. I got called out for that a lot more than I did for this year, where I said T1 weren't necessarily the best. But I do, again, I think JDG probably were slightly better than them last year, but controversial. And we're not going to get into it because I don't remember a lot of the context from last year. So instead, what we're going to talk about is why this is T1's golden chance to win Worlds. First off, form. They are the best team on form right now. They are looking so good in every lane, everywhere along the map. They are looking great. They are looking better at team fighting, the best team fighting team in the world, JDG. They are looking better in lane than every team in the world right now. So that's something that's really good for them. I mean, obviously they'll have the issue of playing into lane against the Shy, but then conversely they also have playing into lane against Xiaohu, which is obviously his massive weakness. So I think this could be a pretty good situation for T1 really. And then you talk about draft. They've sorted out their draft now that they understand that they've got to play they've got to draft a more solid, they've got to draft for level 2 push in bot lane. They know what they're doing. They've got a far more solid bot lane, which means they're far more stable across the map, which means they can, owner can choose a lot more what he wants to do in terms of where he wants to gank, who he wants to gank. It's looking really, really good for them. And then you consider the current meta, where you've got double ADC bot lanes. Again, something that T1 really, really like. You've got the top lane sort of looking what Zeus wants to see. You've got comfort for both Faker and for owner. It's just looking really, really good. And on top of that, you have to consider, they've already beaten the top team left in the tournament. They've already beaten JDG. They've already beat LNG, who were my two favourites coming into the quarters, other than Gen G. Gen G are already out. They've only got to beat Weibo. And, as much as I love Weibo were not a top team coming into this tournament. They were not a top team coming into quarters. On top of that, right, JDG, one of the thing about Weibo is, sure, they did well in prep against BLG, but they still are a team that's really easy to prep against. If BLG had a strat that wasn't basically just bin carries us on a good champion, they probably would have won. BLG probably would have won the series. So you have to consider that. Weibo are not a top team, and they're quite easy to prep against. All you have to do is make sure that you gank the Shy, gank the Shy if you're T1, and put him behind, or you put him on the tank duty, and suddenly they don't look very good. Across the map, you've got decent matchups. Zeus into the Shy, if the Shy is playing his best league, maybe I prefer the Shy there. But Zeus is definitely the top laner that I would pick over the Shy. He's more stable, he's more consistent, he's more to get the job done. And then in jungle, you've definitely got the favourite there. Owner is definitely the better jungler, especially with the form he's in right now. Mid lane, you've got Faker versus Xiaohu. Xiaohu has his upsides, but Faker is definitely still the GOAT, and Faker will definitely beat him in lane. And then bot side, I wouldn't take Light Crisp over Gumayusi and Keria any day. Gumayusi and Keria, especially in the current meta, so good. There are things to be wary of though. I am not getting on the T1 hype train yet. I'm also not doing a prediction yet. I've said this in many videos. I'm not actually revealing my real prediction until the day before the final. Just keeping you suspense, but also because I don't know, I just don't really know yet. But there are some things to watch out for, obviously the Shy's pop-off potential. Weibo's team fighting is very good, so if T1's team fighting dips below that we saw against JDG, which was very, very good, don't get me wrong, if it does dip below that, then Weibo do have a chance. You've also got the fact that Light, Crisp, and the Shy all have the potential to make massive plays. I mean, obviously Crisp being a support, it might mutes it a little bit, but there is a lot of potential in this series, and I'm really excited for it. I'm not sure if it's quite as exciting as T1 DRX last year, just because I don't know if Weibo had the same upset potential, but I do think that It's been in a very exciting world, and this is a perfect climax for it, especially when you're talking about like storylines. There are so many storylines coming to this, like Weibo's upset, T1 just beating all of China after being the last Korean team standing. Like, you know, it's crazy. It's been a crazy tournament. I have loved it. There are still some complaints, and I will still mention them in another video post the tournament, because we're gonna keep going on the hype until the tournament ends. But yeah, it's been good. I love seeing it. Love the support from you guys. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.